Well, as I always say, Mondays are usually the most boring day starting the week. However, if you guys are big fans of Oz Academy, well, you're in luck. The entire episode is all about that. Now, as you all know, I mentioned time and time again, I'm trying to catch up to many of the missed events that I haven't done, and Oz Academy is on that list. Now, there are some events I won't be able to review due to the fact that it's impossible to find them anywhere, but I'm going to do the ones that I can. And some of these events date back all the way to May. The first one we're going to be reviewing is called Shadow Strike and happened on May 11th in Shinjuku Face. And then we're going to do the next one that took place a month later on June 5th, I believe. And it called Blaze of Honor also took place in Shinjuku Face. And then finally, we have Scarlet Wings on the 6th of July, also in Shinjuku Face. So as probably you know, all three shows took place of it. But however, there were some Shadow Strike event at another location, which I won't be able to review due to that. I couldn't find it. The same thing with the others, but we're going to do what we can. There are other two events I haven't seen yet, but they will be done as soon as possible. So by the time we catch up to those, we catch up with Oz Academy. So let's focus on these three instead. And then, as always, we will cap up our episode, as usual, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have been said. Let's get down to business. So, as I said earlier, it's all about Oz Academy, so buckle up. So let's begin with the first show that dates back all the way to May, Shadow Strike. Okay, Oz Academy, Shadow Strike. Now, this event happened on the 11th of May in Shinjuku Face. Now, to be honest with you, Shadow Strike, that kind of makes me think of a title for a movie or a TV series or a song or possibly a CD album. I don't know, but it was a pretty cool name. So anyway, Let's start with the first match. Our first match we have, of course, is Zones taking on Kakeru. Now, of course, when it comes to Kakeru, many of you may know her that she used to be a member of Ozaki Gun. She has a mean streak, and she brings that little sign, where you have to watch for the floor because it's slippery. So she was using that as well. But of course, Zones, I have to say, she is tough as hell. But when it comes to Kakeru using weapons, that's the thing that she has to be more careful. But unfortunately, that didn't do any well for her because Kakeru was able to put her away with the schoolboy, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now, our next match, we have Coyote Yonayama versus Ram Kaicho. Now, of course, when it comes to Coyote Yonayama, many of you know her. She is a legend, and not to mention a high speedster, so she can counter people's moves if she needed to. Now, when it comes to Ram Kaicho, well, you all know she likes to flip people off, do the little the ninja star toss, that sort of thing, and don't forget the ectoplasma. But however, she tried to play a dirty trick. Well, I don't know if you call it a dirty trick. More like, is this a trap type of trick? You know what I mean? Where she's lying down, Yonayama's not sure what to make of it. But of course, I had a feeling that Ram Kaicho was intending to try to pin her with the inside cradle. But unfortunately, she ended up losing to her when, of course, Yonayama applied an O'Connor roll, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So it was a pretty good match. And of course, Ram Kaicho, I hate to say it, she was crying like a little girl, like flipping the entire audience off, like she can't believe she got played. Well, I mean, I'm sure Yonayama knew right from the very beginning that she was going to play her, but who knows? But we'll see. Now, our next match, we have, of course, Mayumi Ozaki, the founder and boss of Oz Academy. She teams up with veteran Jaguar Yokota. They take on Kohaku and Tsubasa Kuragaki, who are in fact our current Oz Academy Tag Team Champions. So basically, you probably can guess if by any means necessary, Ozaki and Yokota and Jaguar could take them out for a shot of the tag team belts. But don't forget, when it comes to Ozaki, she is a bit of a stubborn, mean person who, refuses to take crap from anybody, listen to people what they have to say, not to mention going all out when spitting out red mist, and not to mention using the chain. But with that, apparently it was Jaguar who was able to pick up the win on Kohaku, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now our next match, we have Rina Yamashita teaming up with Hiroyo Matsumoto. They take on Sonoga Kato, and we have Shin Shikayo Nagashima, portrayed by none other than Sakura Hiroda. So that's right, many of you who know her, she likes to dress up as the character. She did that with many Yoshi wrestlers. But of course, you would think in some capacity, her usual, comedic ways would have given her the first hand to pick up the win. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case because Yamashita was able to, of course, to put her away with the splash mountain, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now our next match, we have a 6-woman tag team match. We have Momoka Hanazono, Izuki Aoki, and Ryo Mizunami. They take on Unagi Sayaka, Akino, and Sayuri Ano. So, of course, nothing too special. But when it comes to each person on their strengths and weaknesses, I always mention Momoka Hanazono as a terror in the ring. I'm not talking about, she causes problems, but more like she is an unorthodox wrestler that try to play some interesting game onto her. Izuki Aoki, well, she is a strong wrestler. She is determined to win. And then Ryo Mizunami, many of you know her as one of the first Yoshi girls to be part of the first ever pay-per-view with AEW with Double or Nothing back in 2019. So that kind of says it out. And then, of course, you have Unagi Sayaka, Akino, and Sayuri Ano. We all know their strengths and weaknesses. But one thing that was interesting is Momoka Hanazono tried to apply the pottering on Sayuri Ano. So it's like she tried to play her game. But of course, when you try to mimic someone's move, you know that the master of it is going to do it on you. And that's exactly what Sayuri Ani did. She put the pottering on Momoka Hanazono, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. But, however, during the post-match promo, many of you may not know this, and I did not know, Sayuri Anu, Unagi Sayaka, along with the current tag team champions, Kohaku and Tsubasa Kuragaki, together they are part of a faction known as Phantom Limb. And it turns out that, of course, Kohaku and Kuragaki decided to nominate Sayuri Anu and Unagi for their tag team belts in a showdown. And, of course, it was gladly accepted. But you know what? I say we should check that match out because that's the one we're going to be reviewing next. So let's get to that. Okay, so we continue with more with Oz Academy. This time we have Blaze of Honor. This took place on June 8th in Shinjuku Face as well. So, as you probably know, I mentioned all shows that we're going to be reviewing happen in Shinjuku Face, which I don't mind anyway. But anyway, our first match, we have Coyote no Yonayama versus Zone. So this is the matter of speed versus, of course, powerhouse. Now, some of you may consider, of course, when it comes to factors of this match, you would think Zones, being a powerhouse, could possibly pick up the win. But those who've seen Coyote Yonayama, she always finds ways to counter whatever move she can do using her speed, which of course has been common with her. I mean, look, she can try to catch up to Mei Sera if she wants to, because Mei Sera is a fantastic height speedster. But when it comes to Zone, she can try to catch up as possible, but due to her powerhouse, that's kind of like impossible. But for some odd reason, I did not expected this from her. She countered the O'Connor roll, and this is the last thing I believe Yonayama might have expected coming from her. And I was like, whoa, I can't believe Zones picked up the win by countering the O'Connor roll into her own. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. So that's how I see it. But other than that, Zones picked up the win. Now, our next match, we have Sonoka Kato and Hiro Matsumoto. They take on Akino and Yumiko Hota. Nothing too special about this match, but many of you may know Yumiko Hota is in fact a veteran in the Joshi world. Not to mention, she's responsible for helping training wrestlers like Natsupoi and Suri and a few others, including the current Miku Kane. You may have seen her many times, not to mention helping out with Suri as her second. And, of course, a lot of things. Now, I wasn't too sure where this is going to go because to me, it felt like there was no storylines, just the match itself. But what's impressive is that Hanako was able to pick up the win on her Karana onto Sonoka Kato. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now, our next match, we have Rina Yamashita versus Kakeru. Now, of course, as I mentioned, Kakeru, former member of the Ozaki-gun. You know she's going to try to cheat her way through by using tactics like using weapons or whatever she can do to ensure she gets the win that she needs. That's exactly what she tried to do. She used that little thing where you make announcements saying the floor was slippery onto her, but it backfired. You got to remember, Rina Yamashita, she is a hardcore queen herself, or should I say a deathmatch queen. It's no difference from there, but in the end, it was, of course, Rina Yamashita with the B driver, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, se acabó. Now, our next match, we have Momoka Hanazono, Izuki Aoki, and Ryo Mizunami taking on Ram Kaicho, Mayumi Ozaki, and Jaguar Yokota. Now, of course, when it comes to Jaguar Yokota and Ozaki, well, we all know they have a mean streak. But I don't know how the dynamic will feel with having Ram Kaicho. I mean, Ram Kaicho is almost the same as them, but in her own unique way. That's always been one of the key factors. But in the end, of course, it was Mayumi Ozaki that put away Momoka Anazono with a tequila sunrise. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. It was over. Now, our next match, this is our only championship match, and this is for the Oz Academy Tag Team Belt, and is a Phantom Limit Showdown. We have the challengers of Phantom Limit, Unagi Sayaka, and of course, Sayuri Anu, who is the currently Oz Academy Openweight Champion, which is the top title of Oz Academy. They face against their own teammates, also from Phantom Limit, the current tag champions Kohaku and Tsubasa Kuragaki. Now, of course, I have to say, if those who never seen Unagi with Sayuri Anu, many of you may not know this. Sayuri Anu was not a big fan of Unagi. I mean, if you guys remember, Unagi wanted to join Ozaki-gun, but Mayuhiki was like, oh, hell no, that sort of thing. But for some odd reason, Unagi decided to had a strange fondness towards Sayuri Anu. I don't know if it's because of their connection with Tam Nakano. For those who know this, that Sayuri Anu and Tam Nakano knew each other back in Atlas Girls along with Natsupoi. I don't know. But at first they weren't like close, but they're becoming like, okay, you know, I can live with that. But I have to say they work together very, very well. Despite the fact that they are different from each other. I mean, Unagi, we can all agree she's an unorthodox wrestler, but that's how it works for her. And you look at Sayuri Anu, who has been highly respected in the Joshi wrestling scene. But as for their challengers, well, Kohaku, as you know, she's like similar as Saya Ida from Stardom, and that works out very well. And of course, Tsubasa Kuragaki, well, she's strong. She has a bit of the powerhouse type, you know, that plays out pretty well. But unfortunately, this match ended with, of course, Kohaku pinning Sayuri Anu, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So of course, it's a disappointing loss for Sayuri Anu. I mean, she would have loved to have been a double champion, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But of course, out of the blue, we did see, once the match was over and we jump into the post-match, Hiroyo Matsumoto, Zones, and Rina Yamashita made their way to the ring. Now, it doesn't take a genius to know what's going on. We know what was there for. It seems that they're gunning now for the Oz Academy Tag Team Belt. Now, I did learn later that the match turned out to be, of course, for those titles. So Kohaku and Tsubasa Kuragaki will defend them against Zones and Hiroyo Matsumoto. So, don't know when I'll be able to review that. I'm sure I will review it, but I just don't know when, because there are 2 other events I haven't reviewed yet from Oz Academy. But we'll get to that as soon as possible. But as of right now, we're done with this show with Oz Academy. Let's do our final review with Oz Academy, and let's do that right now. Okay, final review as we end things with Oz Academy. This is their show back, of course, called Scarlet Wings that happened on July 6th, also in Shinjuku Face. Now, we open up with Miku Kane taking on Izuki Aoki. Now, of course, nothing special or story-wise on this one other than the match. Now, Miku Kane, as you all know, she is, I don't know if she still is barely a rookie, but yes. But we know she can learn a few things as she go. But unfortunately, it was, of course, someone like Izuki Aoki, who was with her, of course, years of wrestling, was able to defeat her by applying a diving body splash. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next match, we have Mochi Natsumi teaming up with Yuki Miyazaki, taking on Kaho Kobayashi and Sonoko Kato. Now, like again, nothing special or story-wise on this one, except we all know, for those who know this, Yuki Miyazaki is on the final year of her before she retires, and I think this was one of those matches where, of course, she has to make the best of it, knowing too well that the end is almost near. But in the end, in this one, it was, of course, Sonoka Kato, who picked up the win by pinning Mochi Natsumi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3. However, of course, during the post match, Sonoka Kato could not ignore the real thing that makes her happy, that makes her feel like we cannot end this year, to acknowledge knowing that, you know, Yuki Miyazaki is on the verge of retirement. And of course, you have to, because, you may never know when will be the next time you'll meet her. And I think I have to say, I give Sonoko Kato enough credit to acknowledging, okay, here's just someone who's going to retire. I respect you, and hopefully things will go for the best as we go. So we'll see how things will go for her. Now, our next match, we have Coyote Yonayama taking on Tsubasa Kuragaki. Now, of course, it's a matter of speed versus strength. Now, of course, people would say strength is the most powerful way to deal with someone with the speed. That's something which, of course, we will know. But, however, Yonayama being a height speedster, you know for a fact she'll try to counter the maneuver, and that's exactly what she did. I don't know what Kuragaki was doing, but to me it looked more like she was trying to apply a splash mount, but it was somehow countered, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Yonayama walked away with the win. Now, our next match, we have a three-way. Ryo Mizunami versus Akino versus Kageru. Now, of course, when it comes to Kageru, well, she brings in her mean streak into the play, knowing too well she has to beat up who stands in her way, and that's exactly what she tried to do. Not to mention, she tried to use her weapon on Akino, and that's exactly what she did, and then she applied a schoolboy onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have a singles action, and I have to say this one helps build character. Zones versus Hiyuro Matsumoto. Now, it's not the first time that these two have faced off each other, even though they're tag partners. But I think this is a good way for, of course, Zones to stay focused, knowing that her and Hiyuro Matsumoto are on the verge of facing off for the tag team belts. And this is something that they have to pull out of their butts, knowing too well they have to bring in the characters, stay, of course, motivated. And that's exactly what she did. But unfortunately, Matsumoto was able to walk away with the win when she applied a crossface. And then, of course, we did see Hiroyo talk to Zones about her. She has to toughen up until a tag match. And then, of course, we have one half of the tag team champions, Kuragaki, showing up. And then, of course, Mizunami and Aoki showed up too. So it looks more likely we could see one team that could face off another later on. But we'll see what happens. Excuse me. Now, our main event, we have Mayumi Ozaki and Jaguar Yokota taking on members of Phantom Limb, Kohaku and Sayuri Anu. Now, of course, there is some tensions between both Ozaki and Sayuri Anu. For those who may or may not remember, both of them used to be members of Ozaki-gun, but there's been a lot of conflict between these two. Some people remember that there was a bit of a controversy towards Ozaki when she defeated Sayuri Anu to retain the Oz Academy Openweight Championship, which of course resulted of Sayuri Anu winning the match. However, of course, you would think that Mayumi will love nothing more to pin her and get an opportunity of the belt, which, unfortunately, that's what she did. She applied the Tequila Sunrise onto Sayuri Anu, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, she won the match. But however, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. She was going to make that play regardless. But it turns out she wasn't the only one who wanted to. So was Kakeru, another former member of Ozaki-gun. So that's exactly what was happening, going back and forth. It's all about the Openweight Championship, and that's something that they want. And unfortunately, we will talk about that another time. But I did mention a few times that that match led into something else. But we'll get to it once we get there. So as soon as we catch up, we'll see. But for now, we'll end things here with Oz Academy here and move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin as always with upcoming events. As you probably heard, Stardom will be in Corking Hall on Wednesday on September 10th. However, it was also announced that the High Speed Championship will be on the line. Mei Sita will defend her championship against Yuna Mizumori. Now, of course, the obvious question we ask ourselves, will Yuna Mizumori finally obtain the championship that had eluded her for a while? So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, our final update for the upcoming events are GCW updates. As you know, on September 20th, GCW will be in LA for Homecoming LA, and they just announced the GCW Ultraviolet Championship will be on the line. Matt Tremont will defend the championship against Dr. Redacted. And then, of course, we have the Havoc Slime season taking place on October 18th in Detroit. 4 names have been announced. Now, I'm not sure if any of you know these names. I think I might have heard one name. We have Big Bubba Perkins. We have Tori Rex, AJ Jenkins, and Max Drayton. I don't know who these guys are that much, but if you guys know who they are, just send me a comment. Now for some developments. Many of you may have heard that Wardlow once again has been put on the injured sideline. Man, this guy can't catch a break. They're saying that he might have been torn a pectoral muscle. I mean, I just hope he recovers in time. I mean, he needs to take it easy on what's going on. I mean, we just saw him, he just got back, and now this. So, pretty much it. Now, many of you may have heard about Toni Storm. She had an interview about her timing with WWE, how they didn't tell her what to do enough in WWE, and this is what she said. In WWE, I don't think I was told what to do enough. I wasn't told to do anything actually. Obviously, you're told that you to do in certain circumstances, but overall, I don't feel like I was told to do enough. There's a direction in things like, this is what you do on television, this is cameras, but then in regards to character, no, I was never like with what write promos, but what I kind of just did. I wasn't really told like, do this. Today you're a cat and you're a character and your name is Bloody Tori Bloody Smith. No one had told me anything, and I kept my name the whole time. I mean, yes, she did keep her name. She never changed it. But I feel like many people have often said that WWE dropped the ball on her. I mean, remember that she was throwing in pies and cakes at her face, which I think was really, really messed up. So if she feels like they weren't doing her enough, then that's WWE's fault on that. Now, Bryan Danielson talked about, of course, on the Nick staff, on an interview with him, about Vince McMahon making him one final WWE offer before making the jump to AEW, and this is what he said. I had to call Vince because he and I had a really good relationship. I called him in early August and let him know, okay, I've made my decision, I'm going to do this. Then he called me one kind of in a meantime and said, hey, what if we offered you this instead? It was 5 days before the pay-per-view, he called me. I said, sir, I've been agreed to do this thing, and if I was somebody to go back to this, I feel like you have a decent amount of respect for me. Would you still respect me or respect me? One of the things that you respect about me is that I honor my word. But it was a great conversation, and he said, damn it, you're right. So yeah, I mean, get that he felt like, whatever offer he wanted to, it probably didn't respect him enough. I'm not sure, but glad that he made the jump. Now, many of you may have heard this. Apparently, some people are saying that AJ's current run right now with WWE is total disrespectful. And it turns out people were commenting about this, but it turns out he's not the only one who's been noticing. Someone close to him, AJ Styles' son, also noticed it too. And this is what he said on his X account. They say, "You ain't the only one, man." So basically, he sees the disrespect on his dad, and I don't blame him whatsoever. I mean, I understand that kids look up to their parents, what cool things they do in wrestling, and I feel bad for his son that he has to watch this. But we'll see what happens in down the road. Now, an interesting thing came around. It just from Max The Impaler. Apparently, many of you know she's been participating with NWA for a couple years, and now she just tweeted this on her X account, and this is what she said: "I am no longer with NWA. I am thankful for the time there and everyone that supported me. For now, that is all I have to say." So yes, so she's no longer with NWA, but she's grateful from her time and her participation with there to interact with people. Now, it's still unclear what she's going to do next, so we'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure she's going to keep that under her hat for a while. So, let's just wait. But for now, let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you probably know, we have NXT taking place. However, I am going to be watching, of course, reviewing Pro Wrestling Noah, day one of the annual Round Robin tournament, the N1 victory. So this is similar to what we saw, of course, in the G1. So I'm not going to say the G1 is better, the N1 victory is better, that sort of thing. I mean, the G1, I have to say, I love watching it the most. I mean, the N1, I hardly got to see it. I didn't even see the All Japan Carnival Champions, but hopefully one day I'll see the whole full extent. But for now, that's pretty much the plan. If there's anything else, we'll just have to wait and see. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.